Four, three, two, one. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. For those of you in the Twin Cities, we're putting together a presentation on why mail. Why mail is the channel you need to examine right now. It's as radical as when the internet came on and you thought, that's just a flash in the pan. Okay, now you need to hear about mail. So on the 7th of November, we're planning a get-together up there, and it's going to rock your soul. And so mark it down, okay? Details to be forthcoming. I'm also trying to put together a trip to Boston to see some of the great mailers out there and also some other things, one of those mixed trips. Anyway, let's dig in. An interesting story came out September 22nd. And it turns out there's this really, I've seen some articles by this Free and Fair Markets Initiative, okay? And they've accused Amazon of stifling competition and innovation, endangering, and of course Amazon does. Amazon patented the one-click, which American Hotels, I think it was, American Hospitality, I don't know. Anyway, it was a company that did it on their own terminals back in the 80s, I think. And or maybe it was American Hospital Supply. Anyway, it was something like that. And they had one click back then, but Amazon patented it and went after people who tried to have easy ordering on the internet. So we know that Amazon likes to play their advantage, and that's fine. Somebody else should have patented it, but they didn't. Or licensed it to other people. Anyway, accused Amazon of stifling competition and innovation and other things, but it turns out that Walmart, Oracle, and Simon Property Group are funders of this. Now, to call them secret funders, the Free and Fair Markets Initiative is a nonprofit that doesn't have to disclose their funding. So everybody's secret. Anybody who gave them any money, you're welcome to give them money if you don't like Amazon. Everybody's going to be secret. But it turns out that somebody found out that these guys were part of the funding. But nobody, and Wall Street Journal did a really pretty large article on this, which I read, the whole thing, which basically said nothing. It said, gee, some people don't like Amazon, some people do. Go find, I hate Walgreens, or I hate Walmart, or there's dozens of them. There's dozens of real Walmart stories, or Walmart fail, or whatever. Anybody can put up a website. So, as one of the people that was pro Free and Fair Markets Initiative organization said, if Amazon can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. And I think that's about all we can say about this whole hubbub, right? It's about like the corn syrup wars. Walgreens beats Amazon in drone delivery race. I thought this was interesting. Okay, so look at that. That one is a Wing 2 delivery drone. And look at all the propellers on that thing. 6 on this side and 6 on that side. And Wing is a subsidiary of Alphabet, which is the owner of Google, as far as I remember. Anyway, so, they have nice little cute names for companies they own that don't want to sound like they are owned by Google. The pharmacy giant says it's launching a test in Christiansburg, Virginia, starting next month. Okay, so this is September 20th, so that must be October. And I was pretty excited about this because I thought, the number one thing that would make sense is, you just get out of the hospital and you get a friend to drive you home from surgery and you're flat on your back. If I could have a drone that would fly in the house and in the window and drop my prescription off, my pain meds, because I can't drive. No, that's not happening. They said they can do small orders. They're going to put them in the hands of customers within minutes of ordering. This is pretty much the big thing. Wing became the first company to win certification as an air carrier by the FAA. Because it's complicated. These little drones, you don't want them flying into wires. You don't want them flying into each other. You really don't want them crashing into anything. serious because they're pretty big. And so, what are you going to do? But they got a license. So whoever they pick to work with, Walgreens they pick to work with, um, away we go. But and Amazon, then they cut to Amazon, which said that we can do it too, back in June of 2016, but they haven't done it yet. And as far as I know, they haven't been certified by the FAA, so they're not going to do it until that happens. For now, Walgreens is going to test only about 100 products, and they're allergy, baby, cough and cold, first aid, pain, and kids' snacks. I thought, of all things, kids' snacks. I hope they charge a lot for this, because I don't want to pay for this, for kids' snacks getting delivered in my neighborhood. Prescription deliveries are not available. See, and that's the thing I thought would be, and I guess that makes sense, because, how do you verify it's going to the right people? It's a big problem with prescriptions. Okay, Christiansburg is next to Virginia Tech, and the U.S. Department of Transportation's pilot program has been flying out of Virginia Tech, apparently. Now, this was also interesting. I thought I would note 78% of the U.S. population now will live within 5 miles of a store owned by Walgreens. So, if they can basically tell the drone where to go, literally, if they can work out the logistics of the store drone connection, there's no reason they can't roll this out. Whereas Amazon doesn't have many physical locations. And so it's really, really a lot more limited. And they have warehouses. Amazon is won because of centralization, but Walgreens can win because of decentralization. I want you to think about that. And that goes along with the story we told last time on Friday about retailers now capitalizing on fresh foods and capitalizing on higher local quality. There you go. Okay. And on the same note, everyone wants to talk about self-driving cars, but as I've pointed out, that's very difficult, right? And they've had $80 billion in investment so far, but they've yet to really roll it out, right? Tesla has stuff that works in the open road pretty well, I think. That's what I've read anyway. And tractors, other types of vehicles are pulling ahead into the fast lane, okay? And that's the important part. Tractors, you see on those commercials where the combine, if you know what a combine is, got that boom, 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 boom things going in the front, and it's this big, looks like a building going through the field. And when they're cutting that last row in the field, everything else is cut, and they're going down that, and it's exactly the right width. I try to do that on my lawnmower, but it's really hard. The way they do that is with GPS pre-planning the route. People will come to your farm and say, okay, we'll lay out the most optimal route for your tractor or combine to take based on the shape of your field. And they can even tell when you're plowing, they have GPSs on the ends of the big plows, and they can tell if they're different height. Because if you're going on a hill, the plow is going to slip downhill slightly from that, and so they adjust for that. Pretty cool, eh? Anyway, so now the key in many cases, specificity is the key to successful autonomy. And that's really the truth. Get a drone to do something simple, not make it through rush hour traffic with people running out between cars. It's a cool idea, but they're hard to build. And that is the bottom line on this whole thing. Okay. Another surprise, for me it was a surprise, because I've read countless articles about how nobody's going to fund you if you have an idea and you're over 30 even. The venture guys like to have a 30 or a 20-something to fund. And in 2007, Mark Zuckerberg famously said, young people are just smarter. Oh, yeah? Go head-to-head with my kids, Residents of Warren, and my daughter said, Pennsylvania doesn't fit. I said, it's rabbits. Last night. She said, how would you know that? I said, well, rabbits in America don't live in warrens, but in England they do. I read Watership Down in the 70s. And I remember that they lived in warrens. Sure enough, it was rabbits. So don't count out old people, right? They might have a few cylinders left hitting, and they might have been a V8 instead of your little 4-cylinder that you're driving around today. So people over 40 have become the entrepreneurs at twice the rate of millennials because they got money and they still got ideas. And now there's a boom that's driven by somebody called Senior Planet, which is an MIT Senior Planet, which MIT Review Technology calls the tech savviest retirement community on earth. We need to get that at the University of Wisconsin. So if anybody here listen to this works at the University of Wisconsin, I want to get involved with that. Employers are far less likely to call back older clients, especially women. But Carberger says that your horizon is shorter, your dreams become more critical and urgent, and maybe you think clearer, and you're not just going to bilk the investors, right? Maybe you really want it to work. Anyway, so and then it was a fairly poor story about a guy who wanted to be a screenwriter, and he didn't know how to use email, and so he went to a seminar, Senior Planet, to learn computer skills, and he learned email, and now he's got 37,000 Facebook fans, and he can finally email scripts. So way to go. Enough for today. Have a great day. I'm John Miglosh. Like and share. Your friends.